Brilliant. Okay, so we're recording. So we'll get started in our position again on our chair, sitting comfortably. Have your strap nearby for additional stretches for the shoulders. And when you're sitting on your chair, make sure that your feet are flat on the ground, your shoulders are rolled back, and again, you can lean against the chair if you wish, or you can sit a little bit forward if you want to prop a pillow behind you. And so we'll get started with just closing our eyes. I'm just taking a couple of moments to be still, to be silent, and to focus on the breath. And again, check in with those shoulders in case they are hunched or they're coming forward a bit. Roll them a couple of times if you need to begin. And as we settle in, just begin to notice the breath going in through the nose and back out through the nose again. And just continuing at your own pace. Just noticing how the breath connects with the body, how the body gently moves, maybe the shoulders, the ribs, and the tummy. And anything that's maybe going through your mind, maybe thoughts, anything like that, just allow them to enter and just allow them to pass if you can. Just settling into this space and just leaving all the work worries outside for the moment. And again, check in with the breath. Seeing if there's any difference from the start. If it's gotten a bit slower, a bit quicker, or if it's the exact same. Just taking a final few moments here with the eyes closed, trying to keep those shoulders relaxed. And very slowly you can begin to blink your eyes open, or you can keep them closed for the start if you wish. We're just going to very slowly move our head as we always start, just going to one side. So remember, keep those shoulders there, don't allow the shoulders to rise, let them stay where they are and just tipping the head over. I'm just sitting here with this movement for another moment, taking a breath in and out. And as you inhale next time, just begin to inhale, moving the head back up to the center. And exhale, allowing it to move all the way to the other side. Again, mind those shoulders, make sure that they're not hunched up towards the ears and moving. Just coming over and creating a nice stretch through the neck. Taking a final breath here. We're going to inhale, lifting all the way up to the center. And we're going to slowly start a circle. So you'll do 3 slow circles in one direction and 3 slow circles in the other direction. So you can start by leaning over to one side, slowly moving forward and to the other side. So we normally start clockwise, but it doesn't matter which way you start. And just allow that movement to do full circles, nice and slow. Now aiming for around 3. If you want to do more, that's fine. But once you've done 3 in one direction, feel free to go the opposite direction. So moving that again, opposite direction for 3 or 4, whatever feels good. If you feel a little bit of pain in the shoulder blades here, we are just probably holding on to tension. So just don't allow your head to go back as far if you're feeling that. Control it, just lean back a little bit, not the whole way. Now when you're ready, come back up to the center. And just bring your head center and take a breath of rest. Lovely. And the next one that we're going to do, we're going to come into a forward fold slightly. So you might want to move your bum slightly forward in the chair, and you're going to stretch your arms up really, really high. So stretching, stretching, stretching. And just holding here for a moment, reaching, breathing in, And on the exhale, forward fold the whole way over. So your tummy is on your thighs, your head is coming down in between your legs, and your hands are by your side. And just take a moment here, taking a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to stretch those arms again, and we're going to inhale, reaching all the way. So from the bottom, reach the fingers all the way up, reaching tall the whole time until we get back to the center. Now keep your arms there, and I want you to step your legs out a little bit. So opening the knees, not too wide, feeling stable on the chair. Take another breath in. And on the exhale again, reaching forward. And this time we're going to reach all the way, bringing the hands down to the ground. So if you need, you might have a lunchbox or a book or a block. If you can't reach the ground, just go as far as you can. You may want to use your elbows on your knees for support, but otherwise reaching towards the ground as far as you can. So here we're going to allow the head to dip down so that the crown is facing towards the ground. So trying to point the crown of the head down towards the ground, and just staying here for a couple of breaths. Feeling a nice stretch in the hips, feeling that through the back, maybe the neck and in the head. And we're going to keep our feet there, and we're going to keep our hands there, but we're going to lift our head a little bit so that you can see the screen. And what we're going to do first is take our right hand into the center. So our hands are both on the ground. We take the right into the center, and we bring the left arm all the way up open to the side. So you may get to a 90-degree angle. You may choose to completely open up all the way to the sky. So it's up to you where you get to. Just play around with that. From the ground, that left hand is lifting, maybe moving a little bit higher. If the shoulder is in pain, bring that hand onto the hip, and you can look up towards the ceiling with that hand on the hip. So just go to a point where it feels good for you, where you're getting a nice stretch, where you're not in pain, not forcing anything, and taking a couple of breaths. Feeling a nice twist through the spine and opening up of the chest. Taking your final inhale, and on the exhale, releasing the arm back down to the ground. Now you can take a rest here again, dropping the head in between the legs so the crown is pointing towards the ground. And you can rest here for a moment. So my elbows are bent here. If your hands are on the ground, your elbows can bend to get you a little bit lower. Otherwise they can stay straight to support you. And we're going to take our left hand into the center, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So the left hand comes into the center. We inhale and we lift that right arm away. Maybe it comes up to 90 degrees. Maybe it goes a little further. Maybe you want to put your hand on your hip and twist like so. So it's up to you. Feel what feels good there. One side will probably be stiffer than the other. It won't feel as comfortable on one side, so you might have to adjust one side over the other. And wherever you are, just taking a couple of breaths. Taking one more inhale here. And on the exhale, releasing that all the way back down to the ground. Again, taking a rest here. Dropping the head towards the ground. Just taking a couple of breaths. Now when you're ready, we're going to come up. So we're going to come up, stretching the arms out in front of us. We're going to inhale, reaching the arms the whole time. Reaching, reaching, reaching all the way up. And on the exhale, allow those arms to come down to the side. Lovely. Now I'm just going to turn the chair. We're going to come into cat-cow. So our cat-cow sees us moving our arms back and forth with the chest. So when we inhale, we stick the chest out and push our arms back. And on the exhale, we bring those arms in together, making a concave shape with the body. Inhale, reaching those arms back. Just doing this slowly at your own pace, looking up to the sky if you want, and continue like so. Just keep moving that, waking up the spine, opening up the chest. Be mindful of your shoulders if there's any pain. Just reduce the movement a little bit. Coming and doing our final one before coming back and sitting up straight in the chair. Now here we're going to use the strap to reach for the hands again. So if you need the strap, use it. You're doing opposite arms, so whatever arm you choose to do first is fine. One hand goes up over the head, one hand comes in under, and they reach together behind you. And the strap can help you by using the strap and dropping it to the other hand. So here you can use the strap for support to help you into this and move the hands down along the strap to reach. So that can be left nice and long if your shoulders are very stiff. So just work with what suits you. Make sure that you're not hunched over. Make sure that your chest is nice and open and your chin is lifted up. So you're looking straight ahead. Feeling a nice stretch down one arm, feeling a stretch on one of the shoulders. And taking 2 more nice deep breaths here. And when you're ready, just release those arms, maybe give them a little shake if you need. And then we're going to move to the other side. So if your right arm was up, now your left arm is, and if your left arm was up, now your right arm is. So just doing the opposite, and if you're using the strap, use the strap in the arm that's going up, loop it around your head, and then reach underneath for that strap. Okay. Moving those hands towards one another if you need. And think about the spine while you're in it this time. Make sure that you're not arching forward too much. If you are arching to reach the hands, you've gone too far. Use the strap to support you. So coming into there for 2 or 3 more breaths, taking your time, feeling that nice stretch through the arms and the shoulders. Keeping your gaze straight ahead, chin up, not tucking down to your chest. And when you're ready, just release those arms, maybe giving them a little shake. Lovely. I'm just doing one more pose here. We're going to use the strap for the legs if you need. So to engage the core, we're going to be lifting a leg or 2. So you can use the strap if you need to support you. Okay. If you're using the strap, you're not engaging your core as much. If you are just lifting, you can just do a slight lift to start and let back down. And you can do the same on the other one. So there's a couple of options. If you're using the strap, you're getting a stretch. If you want to engage the core, lifting one at a time. So just to turn to show you what that looks like. Using the strap to stretch out the leg, or lifting to engage the core. You can just do one at a time. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can go for both of them and lift higher with hand support. Okay, so your hands can be placed on the chair and you can lift those legs up. So again, engaging the core, engaging the legs. Strap for a stretch, lifting for engagement, or hands with support to come up. So it's up to you what you want to do. If you're stretching, move over to the other leg. Because you'll have done one side now, you can swap over to the other side. Lovely. So continuing with another leg lift or a stretch or full on workout, whatever you want. Wherever you are, just begin to let go of the strap, begin to let the legs come back down, and just take a breath of rest. Just taking one here in and out. Lovely. And just what we're going to do now is we're going to stand up. We're going to do a couple of poses using our chair. So the chair is there for support, but most of the moves that we're doing you can do without the chair. It's up to you. So doing a downward dog variation, if you prefer to get onto the ground and do your downward dog, now you can. Otherwise we're going to step back a little bit. So just taking little steps back to bring our head in between our arms. So the chair stays where it is, the arms are reaching for it, knees are slightly bent, you don't want to hyperextend, and the head can come down in between the arms. Okay, so it's up to you where you come to with this. Be mindful of your shoulders, maybe quite stiff, maybe holding some tension. So don't overdo it. This is the first one that we're doing. So just take one more breath here. And looking back to the chair, we're going to begin to walk back towards it. Okay, so we're going to come into a second one, and you have the option to do an arm swap. So I'll show you. You don't have to do it. It's up to you if you want to. So again, holding onto the chair, beginning to move ourselves back. Coming in and taking a stationary stretch, so just staying there, or you can drop one hand to give yourself a twist, holding for a couple of seconds, holding for a breath or two, and swapping if you're doing that additional twist. Swapping here, if you're not twisting, just feeling that stretch through the arms. Taking one more breath, everybody. Bringing those hands back to the chair, looking at the chair, and slowly bringing yourself up. Lovely. Now we're going to use the lower side of the chair. So with the lower side of the chair, we just get a bit of a deeper stretch. What we're going to do is a side intense stretch. So what that looks like is we're going to keep our right foot forward, left foot back. They're slightly apart, so they're not in line. The heels are slightly apart for this. So your right foot is forward, left foot is back. Remember, heels, they're slightly apart, they're not in line. And we're going to reach for the chair here, and here we can feel a stretch through the legs. If that chair is perfect support, that's fine. If you want to get rid of that, you can begin to bring the hands towards the ground. Okay, so that chair is there for support to start you off. Right foot forward, left foot back. Heels are not in a line, they're slightly apart. Chair is there for support, or you can come to the ground. I'm just holding that, feeling a nice stretch through the legs. If you want to bring your nose down towards your shin, you can. It's up to you. Just play around with that and see how it feels. Because we're going to hold that for 2 more breaths. Remember, use the chair if you need. The legs are very stiff. So now releasing that stretch, coming back up into our standing position. And bringing your feet back together. Okay, so that was with the right foot forward. Now we're going to do the same with the left. So feet together, stepping the right foot back, left foot is forward. Remember, the heels are not in a line, so they're not one in front of the other, slightly apart. And again, you can use the chair if you want for that support, or you can push the chair away and bring your hands down to the ground. If your hands can go lower than the chair but not to the ground, this is where you could use a lunchbox, a book, whatever you have to maybe reach towards the ground a bit more. That's up to you. Work with what you've got in front of you. Remember, you can bring that nose down to the shin if it works for you. And just taking a couple of breaths wherever you are, feeling that nice stretch through the legs. Now finishing off that breath, we're going to slowly bring the upper body up into a standing position and bring those feet together. So we're going to take the chair again and the triangle pose and revolved triangle. So I'm going to show you 2 of them. They can be done with the chair or without. So First of all, for our triangle pose, have it so that the back of the chair isn't in your way. You're going to be using it. So what we're going to do first is take your right leg forward first. So right leg, let me push that out a bit. Right leg is pointing towards the chair. Left leg is at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so the left foot is on the ground at a 45-degree angle. We bring our arms up parallel to the ground. We reach with that arm and it can come onto the chair. So you might want to move that chair so it's there to come into your triangle pose. Depending on shoulders, you may choose to put your hand on your hip to look up towards the ceiling. If you don't need the chair, that triangle pose can begin to come lower. So the right hand onto the shin, not on the knee. You don't want to put pressure on the joint. Right hand onto the shin or all the way to the foot. If you want to just put the fingers towards the ground, you can also reach up. Okay, so wherever feels good. If your balance is not too good at the moment, stay looking towards the ground. But the aim is to open up the chest. Think of a straight line from fingertip to fingertip or fingertip up to elbow. So just holding that for another 2 breaths. Lovely. And when you're ready, just taking a breath in. And on the exhale, push yourself away back up to standing. And bringing your feet together and your arms by your side. Just taking an equal standing pose. Just taking a breath of rest here in and out. Now that was with our right foot forward. You're going to do the same with the left. So I'm just going to swap the chair around. So the left foot now is pointing towards the chair. The right foot is at a 45-degree angle behind. Okay. So my arms come up parallel to the ground, taking a breath in. And I exhale, I reach forward like I'm going for something, and I place my hand on the chair. So your hand can be placed on the hip again, or straight up. If you don't want the chair, that's fine. Coming onto the shin, or to the ground. Just remember, you don't want to be leaning forward on this. If you are, you need to come up a little bit higher. So coming up a little bit higher allows you to get that nice stretch through the body. So wherever you are, just holding for 2 more breaths. Lovely. When you're ready, look back towards the ground, taking a breath in. And on the exhale, pushing yourself all the way back up, bringing your feet together and your arms down by your side. Taking a breath of rest here. Before doing one more pose, we're going to do our revolved triangle. So the triangle that you've done has been legs and body facing the same way. What we're going to do this time is, just to show you, we have our triangle position with our legs, but the hips are square, and I take the arm over the body. So what that will look like with the chair is something like that. Okay, so I'll guide you into it. If you're not using the chair, you can come the whole way down to the ground with that twist. But we'll do that together. So bring the chair close to that right foot. So the right foot forward, coming forward again. The hips aren't out to the side like they were with the first triangle. They're square. So it's like I'm facing the lower part of the body towards the chair. Now, that chair actually, bring on the outside of your right leg. So bring it on the outside so that you can use it as support. So with the feet in position and the hips square, I'm going to take my left arm up, breathing in, and on the exhale I reach forward with that, which comes to the chair beside me. So what we've done is we're twisting the body. And now with that right arm, this can reach up towards the ceiling, or it can stay on the hip and you can just look towards the ceiling. So the hips are square, feet are facing forward, and one of the feet is at a 45-degree angle, and you are twisting into that. Lovely. Bringing the arm onto the hip. If you find that it's really struggling with the shoulder, just place that hand onto the hip. And so holding for one more breath in and out. We're going to take an inhale here and exhale out of it. Exhale, reaching that arm all the way up and back down by your side. Bringing your feet together. So that is your revolved triangle. We're going to do it on the other side again. So that was with our right arm forward. Sorry, right leg forward. Now we're moving on to the left. So left foot forward, right foot at a 45-degree angle. Hips square. And this time I'm taking the opposite arm. I hope I've got the arms and legs right. Sorry, because I'm doing the opposite to you. So taking, if your left foot is forward, right arm is up. Exhale, moving that forward like you're reaching, and that hand comes onto the chair. Okay, so my left foot is forward, right arm has gone to the chair, and now I push off the chair to open the chest, reaching that arm up. Again, if that's too much, place the hand on the hip and look towards the ceiling if you can. If you don't want to use the chair, you can reach towards the ground, but that's quite an intense stretch. So holding there for one more breath. Inhale, bring that arm back down to the hip. Exhale, releasing. And all the way back down, hands by the side, feet together. And now hop onto your chair for your Shavasana. Or onto the ground, whatever feels good, whatever you're comfortable with. Maybe get some fluffy socks, an eye mask, a blanket, whatever it is that you need to get cozy. All right, so you're just gonna get yourself onto your chair, roll the shoulders back like we started, making sure you're nice and comfortable. Your hands can be facing down, they can be facing up, but they can be cradled in one another. And just take a moment to connect into the breath, seeing how that feels. Feeling the shoulders rise, the chest expand and the belly move. Just checking in on how the breath feels and how the body feels after that movement. So just checking in with the shoulders. Make sure that they're not hunched up towards your ears. Make sure that they are lowered away from the ears, feeling nice and relaxed. Then check in with the jaw. Make sure that your teeth aren't clenched. And finally the tongue. Making sure the tongue is relaxed away from the roof of the mouth. And then with every exhale, just allow the body to get a little bit more and more relaxed. Taking this time at the end of the day to just breathe, to relax, and to give ourselves this time and space. And just very slowly begin to just bring awareness back to the breath. So you don't need to move yet, you don't need to do anything. Just notice the breath coming in and coming out of the body. Notice how it feels. And just maybe feeling the shoulders, the ribs, and the belly moving. And then begin to bring awareness back to the body by slowly moving the fingers, moving the toes. And whether you're lying or sitting down, just maybe move the arms, the legs. Maybe taking a long stretch if you're laying down. And slowly bringing yourself up into a seated position. Just slowly, no rush. Just bringing yourself back, maybe sitting on your shins, maybe sitting cross-legged. And once we're all seated, just make sure you take these final few moments with your eyes closed, just giving yourself this time and attention. Again, checking in with that breath, checking in with the body, seeing how you are. And very slowly now begin to move one hand onto your heart and followed by the other. And just feel the heartbeat, feel the chest rise as you breathe in and out. And just take a moment to acknowledge your successes for the last few weeks. That we've actually made it this far. We're still showing up for yoga and still doing everything that we need to do. So just take a moment to acknowledge that fantastic work that we are all doing. It might feel strenuous, it might feel tough, but we are doing an amazing job. So just take a moment to recognize that and maybe give yourself a little smile or a virtual pat on the back, whatever that is. So taking a big deep breath in and releasing it all. Slowly blinking your eyes open and bringing your hands together and just bowing namaste. And thank you for joining today. Just going to stop all the